This is Tuesday, July 11th. There are 8 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2023. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
VANUHTWE go. Oh my God, I love Live Journal and my Live Journal wants me. Current food is sliding around till current music. Refuge 73. I love the color scheme between and purple.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm your host, James Riley, and joining me on the podcast, as always, Carrie Dixon.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us.
And also joining us tonight from outside Comic-Con, it's Kim Twombly.
Hello, it's so great to see you guys. I'm so excited. 1 week left. Almost.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so strange.
This season of the SDConCast is sponsored by Adrenalizing Media. They're heading to San Diego Comic-Con, where they've teamed up with 3D Retro to invite you into the universe of NR City, a district set in present-day central western Germany. The universe follows Rico Stahl, an ex-military, as he battles with both his past and present while returning to the NR City PD. The franchise will begin as a comic book series, NR City Stories Extreme, which will lead into a feature film, NR City, tentatively scheduled for 2025. You can find them at Comic-Con at booth number 2548 to meet the creators, legendary composer Vince DiCola, who you may know from Transformers the movie, stuntmaster Andy Ching, and you can get your comics signed by cover artist Lucio Perillo, Carla Cohen, Ralph Paul, and Eric Eatman Chan. Again, that's booth number 2548.
All right. So welcome everybody to the final countdown. And typically I play the final countdown right about now, but I forgot to get it ready. So just everybody act like we all sang the final countdown, and then we'll go on from there.
That's okay. This is the year if we're working with what we got.
Yes. So we're going to take questions and comments during the show. You just leave them in the YouTube live chat, of course. We'll keep an eye on that, but you can also comment on Twitter. You can add us at SD_comic_con or use the hashtag SDConCast. And so, Carrie, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I think we're going to start with Strike Talk with Carrie, because that is the question on everyone's mind. So as of right now, it is Tuesday, July 11th. The current agreement between SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTA, deadlines tomorrow night, not tonight, tomorrow night, basically at midnight. And there are three options here. Number one, they reach an agreement and they don't strike. Number two, they don't reach an agreement and they do call a strike. Or option three, they opt to extend the deadline for a second time. What's going on right now is that there's been like a bunch of, I don't even know, like back and forth in the press. Like today, Variety posted that like several of the producers, like Bob Iger, wanted to get in a federal mediator to help with the negotiations. And they were really hoping that like SAG would be on board with that. And then SAG replied back and was like, well, we'll do that. But you leaked that to the press before you even told us, which is not a great sign. And then like they did not agree to extend the deadline, at least yet. I mean, again, anything could happen between now and tomorrow night at midnight. So the other big news is that SAG held a press conference with publicists, I think yesterday, 2 days ago. Time means nothing to me anymore. About talking about like if they do strike, what are protocols, and Comic-Con did come up. And basically what SAG said was, first of all, kind of like the WJ rules, which is that like if you are on a production with, you know, a studio, you're not allowed to go to Comic-Con to promote that thing. But they went one step further and they said like they would prefer if actors did not attend Comic-Con in any capacity, even if they were not there like for a SAG specific reason. So like the implication there being that like they don't want even like Jamie Lee Curtis showing up to talk about a graphic novel, which
Lame.
I think that's stupid. I think that it's short-sighted. I think that there are other things, I mean, look at somebody like David Dastmalchian. I mean, he's also like written a comic book, like he's been going around to conventions all over, like promoting his comic book. Like, why should he not be allowed to do it at this one convention? Even though, if like some convention in Iowa wanted him to come out, he could still do that because that's got nothing to do with the AMPTA. I don't know. I just think that's dumb. But again, that's not like a total ban on actors. That's a like, we would prefer if you didn't do this. So we'll just have to see what happens here in the next day or so. I think it's going to be real interesting. But hopefully, if you have been watching from the beginning of this season, we have at least prepared you for this possibility. So
it's so unfortunate. I just wanted to say it's such a good opportunity to talk about what's going on because the rest of us will rely on Strike Talk with Carrie to know what's going on. So it would be a great opportunity to learn about as well as from the writers.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are the WGA, like I said, they have looser rules, and there are several writers who are still going to the convention. They're allowed to talk about like general topics. In fact, I know Amy Berg is on a panel where basically like they will be talking about, like the importance of writing for TV. Like, why does this matter? Which I think is great. And I think that that's going to be a really cool platform, like to get their word out. So I was definitely disappointed when I saw that SAG was like, no, like, we don't want you to go at all. Like, I totally understand them being like, you can't go on to your studio project panels. I do not understand them being like, we don't think you should go at all, even if what you're doing there has nothing to do with like the AMPTA.
So someone made a comment. Let me get back to it here. Lisa and Gina Gomez said SAG officially said that they're not going to extend negotiations past tomorrow. Which,
well,
I just Googled it. They said about 35 minutes ago. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, though. I just mentioned that. Yes. I mean, they said they're not going to extend it. But again, anything is possible until we reach the deadline. Right. I mean, I can say like, I'm not going to do something and then change my mind tomorrow, and we'll just have to see.
I will still think it's lame that they prefer that people don't attend that are part of SAG.
Yeah.
I will not change my mind on that.
Yeah, totally. And Lisa and Gina are both pre-WGA. I know exactly who you are. Hi, guys. So, I mean, they're totally welcome to their opinion, and we're totally welcome to ours. And that's okay. So, yep. And that's Strike Talk with Carrie. We'll just have to wait and see what happens tomorrow.
All right. So what else do we want to talk about? Are we going to just cover some Comic-Con news and then start answering some questions?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we've had so much news the last couple of days, so we're just going to get into that. I mean, we do this every year. We usually don't have a guest on this last one just because the news is so freaking robust. And then we'll answer as many questions as we can for you guys. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff like we don't know yet, obviously. We'll know more after tomorrow, but the podcast is tonight. So it is what it is.
All right. So first up, we have us in actually a surprise because we didn't think they would. The Hall H wristbands are back. Everything's pretty much the same. There's, the next day line is starting where the green flag is out at the Embarcadero Park South. The tents will be out and all of that. But there are a couple of big changes. Actually, just one major change, and that's the previous rule was one person could hold a spot for 5 other people, and now the rule is one person can only hold the spot for 2 other people. And in a year like this, it's not going to really have an effect because we don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of people camping out anyway. So this will probably have an effect next year when things are starting and hopefully back to having some major productions and everything multiple times throughout the week in Hall H. That's when this may take effect, and we'll see how it does play out if they keep this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a great year kind of to test it out because it's a much smaller crowd. So if, there are kinks to work out, like this is the year to do it.
Yep. And now they have 2 locations for distributing the wristbands. I don't know if is that new this year. But on Wednesday, you can pick them up in Plaza Park as part of the general Hall H line for the Thursday panels. And then on Thursday and Friday, you would pick them up where that green flag is in front of the next day line for the Friday and Saturday panels. And of course, there is no Sunday in Hall H, so there will be no Saturday night pickup of anything.
Yeah. And that is normal for the record. And it's basically because they're still setting up those tents. So they don't want you to like head straight over there.
Okay, that's it for wristbands.
All right. Well, let's talk about Kim's favorite topic, wraps.
It's so exciting, guys. So if you saw yesterday, Parks and Con, Sean and Carmel found the first wraps going up, which was interview with the vampire, on the Hilton Gas Lamp Hotel on the inner courtyard. And that went up in the entire afternoon that they were there. They got that whole thing up. And then over on the condos, kind of by Petco, is Paramount Plus, Special Ops Lioness. And that is probably all done by now. So I don't know. We have the best time trying to figure out when things are, and I can't wait for everyone else to also see them next week. Today I happened to be down there for an errand, and that scream you heard earlier this morning was me coming across Yellow Jacket wrap, which is up on the Hard Rock, and they're putting something up on the front that we'll have photos of a bit later. The blog will post it, and I think it probably also Yellow Jackets. So it looks like Paramount Plus is where Apple was last year, and Paramount Plus has that as well. And then, yes, Kara, you're looking to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I'm always amazed like how fast they get those wraps up. I mean, like that Yellow Jackets one, like they hadn't even started yesterday, when Sean was over there, and now it's basically done. It
was pretty much done. And then there's a bit of a corner of the front of the Hard Rock up earlier this morning. So we'll see. It's probably almost done by now, although that took them a while last year with Apple. So we'll see, because that front has a lot of nooks and crannies of the Hard Rock. And then kind of interesting, on the Hilton gas lamp, they were putting up, I'm going to say it wrong, but Teatro des Vampires, however you would say it in French, an entryway of something that will be there. So I haven't seen anything myself officially or anywhere, but we'll see. It looks like there's something going on at the Hilton.
Yeah, and I know that like the Theater of the Vampires is basically like what the second book is, an interview with the vampire. So I'm pretty sure that's what the second season is going to be. So I'm excited. Yep. All right, and then let's talk other wraps, trolley wraps.
Yeah, and if you guys aren't, all of you probably watching or listening, follow Parks and Cons, but please go follow them on YouTube, because they immediately had their video up of wraps that they found yesterday. Spider-Man 2, and I forget the other one. I don't have it open, I'm afraid.
It was Ultra Kill, because I have had about 50,000 tweets today about Ultra Kill.
So I don't think that one's been on the rails yet. So it's exciting because we thought we were all done with wraps. So now there's 2 more pretty cool video game wraps out and about. So
I know.
So
it is exciting. I know. I'm so glad we're not ending on like Carl's Jr. No offense to Carl's Jr.
But no, we need Spider-Man 2. Amazing. So that'll be fun to see around town.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk then about, speaking of Parks and Cons, they do amazing visual guides. If you have not checked them out, you absolutely should. They've got several. They've got like one talking about quick food and the gas lamp, and their most recent one is their on-site visual guide and tips around the convention center. So if this is your first time going to the convention, or honestly, even if you've been before, sometimes it's a really good refresher just to kind of reacquaint yourself with that area, because he'll take you and show you, like, here's kind of like where this happens, here's where this line would be, here's what you're going to do. It's super helpful, so you should definitely check that out. And then Robert on our team, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing.
Robert on our team put together a guide to food in the gas lamp, and not just food, but restaurants that are offering like discounts or specials or themed menus. There's a bunch of really fun stuff on there. I think honestly, like our team's favorite that we're the most excited about right now is Spill the Beans Coffee and Bagels is going to have Super Mario themed cream cheeses. Like there's Princess Peach's cream cheese and Mario Pizza Party cream cheese. I don't know. And Donkey Kong's banana cream cheese. So we like themed menus. So if you do as well, go check that out. And it's a really fun guide to some places you might want to stop next week.
That was a really fun guide to read. And I love that all the restaurants get involved, or a whole lot of them. So we also wanted to talk about Hunger Action Heroes happening during Comic-Con along with the Comic-Con Museum. They're teaming up with Feeding San Diego for a week of celebrating Hunger Action Heroes and working to end hunger through food rescue. And there's going to be a meet and greet with Feeding San Diego on Friday, July 21st from 2 to 4 at the Comic-Con Museum. And they encourage food donations, and that you can get your caricature done. And then also going above and beyond, you can be your own Hunger Action Hero, volunteering with Feeding San Diego on Saturday, July 22nd from 1 to 3 at their location on Maple Street. I hope that's how you say it. And costumes are encouraged and food donations. And they're doing a panel on 23rd. Sorry about that. Send something on Sunday the 23rd at 11 a.m. Feeding San Diego. That's great.
All right. I am going to, before I read stuff about yummy things, I'm going to answer a question that we have. And we had a few, including Thane Reyes asked, what do you recommend if you want to go to a panel and get a good seat? Well, we actually just finished 2 podcasts so either here on YouTube or you can check out our podcast feed. We have 2 podcasts called Breaking Down the Schedule, part 1 and 2. And that's for any question you may have about panels in any of the big rooms, about when room flow and when we think you should line up. So if you have a question about those, like Indigo or Ballroom 20 or any of the room 6s, go listen to those because they will give you that information in a nice, easy, listenable format.
Yep.
And I am going to talk about, as I mentioned, yummy things like chocolate. And we have, I think we mentioned it last week that the chocolate is back at Comic-Con, the exclusive chocolate. There's 1,000 of each bar. There's 4 different bars. They are $10 each. And if you want to check out the site, Parks and Cons got to taste them, and they did a tasting video. So we posted that and some really good pictures of all of the chocolate bars. And there's also, what is it called? Can't eat it, nuts, vegetarian, vegan, gluten, all that information.
Allergy information.
There you go. Allergy information. Lost the word. So
that's okay.
Get some. And there is a limit now. You can, I think you can only buy 10 bars at a time. So if you want some chocolate, or if you want a lot of chocolate, make sure you stop on by there. It's going to be outside Ballroom 20.
Yep. Okay, let's talk about the portal and where we are with that. So the portal launched July 3rd, I think. Yeah, because it was right before the holiday. And then late last week, they added several more signings, including like What We Do in the Shadows, Bob's Burgers, Abbott Elementary, some other stuff. Since then, the Good Omens signing has been canceled. Note that that's just the signing, not the panel. We're fairly certain that the panel is mostly a screening, if not entirely a screening. So I think the panel is probably okay, but the signing's gone. The Rookie, which never had a panel on the schedule that we saw at least, that signing has also been canceled. And then interestingly, American Born Chinese has a signing, but there is no panel listed. So I have a feeling that one may also be coming off here pretty soon. But again, if the actors strike, all of these are probably going away. The good news, though, is that this year, If they cancel something, you get your points back. If you change your mind, you can cancel your points and then like submit for something else. So if you're like, well, there's no signings anymore, let's do Funko. You can do that. You have until basically midnight on July 16th to submit your points. So that's good. If you do decide to cancel your points, we have a guide on our site up for how to do that. And then I'm going to add a post in here because it's not on this list. But Comic-Con also announced their official list of like autograph signings, which includes all kinds of signings. So signings up in sales, for the most part, which can be like authors or comic writers, or some of them will require a ticket draw, not the lottery, like not the online lottery, but a physical ticket draw on site. So like if you want to get a signing from Junji Ito, you have to show up that morning, go to sales, and then you'll press the cube of deciding and it'll tell you if you're a winner or not. And then you get a wristband to go to his signing. But
and those
they
are
all
free,
work,
correct? Those don't cost anything.
No, some of them are free, some will not be. Most of the ones that will be like a ticket draw will be free. Sometimes some of the other ones will not be. So like if you want to go meet like Gigi Edgley from Farscape, I don't think that one's free. I think you have to like pay. It really just depends on the signing. They all have their own different rules. It's usually a good idea to show up that morning anyway, just to like check it out and make sure, you know, that like yours hasn't been added to be a ticket draw, even though it wasn't listed as one. So always a good idea just to like double check. That's a general rule about everything at Comic-Con. Like even if they announced something was going to be one way, that doesn't mean that's going to be how it actually works in practice.
So moving on, the city of San Diego released their list of show your badge and save locations for this year, including things like the Gaslamp Museum and whale watching, kind of random things. But there's also some really useful restaurants in here that I was amazed to see were on the list, and I wish I had remembered it last year. But one of them is the new Wild Hare kind of restaurant area that the Hilton Gaslamp just added last month. It just opened. And Murder and Mayhem and Barley Mash and the Garage Kitchen where we had our party last year is on the list, and there's quite a bit of discounts. So find that on our site to get to the link, and you can probably find some good restaurants to get discount on your food.
Absolutely. Okay, so I know that James wrote some questions down, but I'm just going to skim real quick in the chat and just answer some random questions. Is that okay?
No, just kidding. I will, okay. While you're skimming, I will answer one, which is there's been multiple questions about offsite locations that we know about. So like the Hulu location is actually behind the convention center in a parking lot. It is not taking over the FX lawn. Do we know if FX is back or not? I don't know if we know that yet. But nothing has taken over the lawn yet that we know of.
Nothing has been announced, as far as like what's taking that lawn.
Right.
Yeah. But correct. Like, I know everybody was real confused when Hulu announced, like, we're in the Bayfront parking lot. And everybody was like, what is that?
It's actually behind the convention center where
you've
ever seen early morning on Wednesday or Tuesday. That's where all of the vendors park their trucks and put out the stuff for pallets to be loaded into the convention center.
Yeah, which actually makes sense because I had heard, I think that like they were asking vendors to park somewhere else this year.
Well, there you go.
So that does make sense now. Okay, so we've got some questions in the chat, like, will Lego even be there? Lego has a booth. Lego will be there. As for what they're doing, I don't know. I asked, and they are physically mailing me a flyer. So make of that what you will. I was like, okay, sure. Here's my address. You can physically mail me a flyer, I guess. But that's where we are with Lego. Let's see here. What questions do you guys got? I know I've seen a bunch in here. What's the deal with Mattel and Hasbro not showing their exclusives? They have started showing their exclusives. Mattel has announced 3 so far, and Hasbro has announced 1. We'll get to those here in just a second. Damien asked, what do we think will happen with Good Omens? Again, I think the panel is probably okay. The panel always sounded like a screening anyway, so they don't need actors for that. I think that again, with like that show being international, I think they just probably needed more lead time to decide like if they were going to be able to bring the cast or not, which is probably why the signing got canceled. How do you think the heat wave will affect offsites and floor crowd? Is there going to be heat wave? I did see like the weather earlier and it looked like it was like 80, but I wouldn't call that a heat wave.
Oh, that's a heat wave in San Diego.
Well, okay. So it might be warm.
As long as it's not humid like it was that one year, then we're going to be okay.
That one year was awful. So bad. Yeah. Let's see here. Do we know how Rachel Smythe's signings will work with tickets and sales? So again, I think she is cubes of deciding. So you show up that morning, you get in a line for her. When you get to the front, you'll press the cube. If it turns green, great. You get a wristband for the signing. If not, you go to the back of the line and you get to try again. You might have to try several times. So the earlier you get there, the more chances you'll have to go through. And they keep doing that until all the tickets are gone. Any word on IMD boat this year? No, I haven't heard anything. I know there's more. I've seen some folks commenting about like they have a 4th canceled panel already. There's canceled panels every single year, guys. Like that's not super out of the ordinary. And 4 is nothing. I just feel like we're all like super hyper aware right now. Still no news on Nintendo. That is correct. Okay. Should I assume anything with the word actor in it is canceled? I don't think so. I think we need to wait and see what happens tomorrow. And again, even if they do strike, like SAG said they would prefer if like actors did not attend for non-SAG things, but that's not like a direct you cannot attend. So again, stuff like Jamie Lee Curtis showing up for her comic, Patton Oswalt showing up for his, like those still might be okay. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? Priscilla Wilson mentioned that some exclusives require camping out to get. Should I be considering this since the show floor is basically Hall H this year? I mean, I do not think that you need to camp out overnight for exclusives. I mean, you know, if you're like truly worried, like get there at like 5 a.m. I think for just about anything on the show floor, you'll probably be okay. Don't try to do a Marvel autograph signing though, because you'll be disappointed. That's my advice. Does SDCC pay studios to be at the con like Marvel? Just curious about the money situation, as obviously they're saving costs by not having to rent Hall H, but prices went up for the convention. So no, Comic-Con works totally different than just about any other convention. Any other convention, like the way that it works is basically like they pay to bring the actor. The actor does autographs and signings, and then like they each get to, you know, make money off those. At Comic-Con, they do not do that. The only people that Comic-Con really like sponsors and pays to bring are going to be the special guests. And by special guests, we means the ones that like are specifically labeled as special guests. So a lot of times
website.
On the Comic-Con website. So a lot of times these are going to be like important figures in comics history. It's not going to be your like, it's not Jamie Lee Curtis, okay? Like they're not paying to bring Jamie Lee Curtis here. Instead, what happens is that the studios bring the panels for the entertainment stuff. So the studios are footing the bills for the actors. The studios are footing the bill for XYZ. And in fact, we've also heard like that the studios even pay for the screens in Hall H, right, James?
I think so, yeah. And they, yeah. So anything above the minimum that is provided in a panel room, they have to pay the expense for. So like all those extra screens that WB always put on the side of the wall, they paid for all of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, sure, Comic-Con might be saving a tiny bit of money by like, I don't know, not having electricity in Hall H on Sunday, or like not paying extra staff to be in there. But I think that that's going to be a pretty minuscule amount of money. I don't think that like them not having Hall H on Sunday was necessarily like a financial one. I don't think that they're saving a ton of money. I don't
tickets have been going up every year for years.
Yeah.
You know, just like, you know,
absolutely,
a few bucks every year.
Yeah. Is Comic-Con done with revealing the exclusives, signups, and exclusive time slots for the exclusive portal? They can add stuff all the way up through July 16th. at 11:59 p.m. Some years they have added stuff like super late. But again, the really cool thing this year is that they are finally allowing you to like change your points. It is a little bit complicated, and I had some issues with it. I had to like remove all of my points for a day before it would let me reassign any of my points for that day. But information on how to do that is up on the site. Dan said, it's my first time attending. I've already got my badge. Where do I need to go before I line up for ballroom 20 if I want to get there earlier? We posted a guide today called Where Do I Line Up? Go look at that. CJ Lau said, where's the bus stop that will take you to the Comic-Con Museum? Go look at the map, either on Comic-Con's museum or on our site. I think it's over at Petco, but go look at the actual map and it will tell you. Nelson said, bringing my under 12 child for the first time. How does registration work for his pass? Can we only do that on the day that I have badges for? There's not a lot of detail. I'm going to let Kim answer that one because she has done child badges before.
Yeah, I don't. So you go up to sales and you just say, need to register or I need to get a badge for my child. I don't think it's where people go to pick up badges sometimes. So I don't think, I'm trying to remember, I don't think you need your own badge to get up there. They'll direct you the special direction up to sales is where you would pick up your badge. You know, anyone who wants a bag and a lanyard, that's where you would go get it. And just people will help you. People are so helpful. They will direct you where to go, and you just say you need your child badge, and you do need to have your child with you.
Yes. You do need to have your child with you. Absolutely. Brandon said, do all panel rooms have a designated zone to line up, or is it just bigger rooms like Hall H and Ballroom 20? So if you are there before doors open, there's the Hall H line, and then there's what we call the everything else line, which is, as the name implies, everything else. So if you are in that line, you can be for anything. You can be there for the show floor, Ballroom 20, anything basically except Indigo, because that's over at the Bayfront, which is a totally different location. But then once they'll load everybody in when doors open, and then from there, you know, you sector off into whatever specific thing you want to go to. Again, go check out that guide about like, where do I line up? Fernando said, I haven't been to Comic-Con since 2017, and I'm going this upcoming week. Where can I find info to learn more about how to navigate the convention center? Go look at Parks and Cons guide on our site. It's a video guide. It's great. It's full of useful information. Nitty asked Miss Dell and Kevin Smith panel tickets. Any news if they're going to drop more tickets or let people walk in, sell tickets at the door? I think they did a couple of walk-ins last year. So what I would do is basically like head to the venue and ask them like, hey, is there any chance to like maybe buy tickets at the door? Like if you've got some openings. So stick around, see what happens. I don't think they'll put more up on Eventbrite, but you never know. Diki Gong said, what's the best source for finding freebies? I mean, basically just watch Twitter. Okay. Are we ready to move on?
Maybe. DJ Connix asked, where's the access for ADA for Hall H or the entry area? That is going to be right next to Hall H against the building, where those planters are, typically right at the front of the convention center there. I'm not entirely sure where the ADA is for the everything else line, but it's probably similarly situated where it's near the other entrance, but not part of.
Yeah. I just saw it. Brendan asked, when leaving the con, is there a dedicated Uber or Lyft area? No, but my best suggestion honestly would be like to go to one of the hotels. You know, so like go up to like the Marriott, kind of like in front of the lobby area, because there's going to be like taxis and Ubers and stuff are going to be a whole lot easier to get up there than they are if you're just like standing somewhere random. So I would just head to a hotel basically. Okay.
That's a lot of stuff. So we're going to try and keep an eye on more questions, but let's cover some more news. And in this case, we're going to cover the offsites that we do know about.
Yeah, so I've been getting so many freaking questions about Stern Pinball and are they bringing back the arcade? And the answer we learned today is yes, they will be back at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. Details are still TBA, but they will have a Venom pinball machine, which is launching worldwide at the convention. And I am kind of hoping that maybe I can actually make it over for that because it is very relevant to my interests, hence the Tom Hardy screen worn hoodie right there behind me.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
we have news for the Petco Interactive Zone, and that is Fandom is bringing the anti-vaping activation to the Interactive Zone. It's going to be partnered with The Real Cost. It's going to feature Attack of the Metallic Menace, a 10-foot metal monster to drive awareness of youth vaping. It's going to be inspired by classic kaiju movies like Godzilla, of course. And there will be a photo op and multiple augmented reality experiences to bring the monster to life. It will be open the hours of Petco Interactive Zone, which is Thursday through Saturday from 10 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 4.
And also in the Petco Interactive Zone is the Hello Kitty Food Cafe truck, which I think was the very first thing we had announced. And there's going to be a palette shaking collab between Marvel and GNC. Well, I can read more. Protein and vitamin supplements company will be launching 3 show-stopping flavors inspired by iconic Marvel superheroes. And there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So I think we really kind of already did like the wraps. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, Sean got some photos of some extra signs as well. But let's talk about Hulu. So, as we mentioned earlier, Hulu is going to be doing an activation. It will be in the big parking lot directly behind the convention center, which, as far as I'm aware, is the first time that's been used for an offsite. So, that'll be interesting. But it's open Thursday through Sunday, and it will have several of their animated series, including Family Guy and Futurama. And it promises to be a fully immersive journey that transports you through a 2D experience, putting you right in the center of your favorite shows. So if you're a fan of any of the Hulu animated shows, and I mean the graphic show stuff like The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers and Archer and other stuff, I think you will probably want to head over there to check that out.
So with them and Adult Swim back there, it's going to be really busy back there.
Yeah,
for
it
the
is.
First time in a long time.
Yeah, Party Central.
Amazing.
All right. And a local San Diego restaurant, Smoke and Jay's Barbecue, is bringing a Cluckin' Bell offsite, which is basically that they're going to be hosting a pop-up of the Grand Theft Auto fictional restaurant, Cluckin' Bell. And you can check it out at 751 4th Avenue. And they will be open from 11 a.m. every day through the convention and closing either at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, or midnight at Friday and Saturday.
And Dragon Ball is going to be back at the Marriott Marquis Marina, out back on their terrace, that I think you can access from the bay side of the hotel. It's just a huge Dragon Ball outdoor booth with giveaways and statues and product displays and all sorts of experiences back there, and you can pick up some exclusive cards as well.
Yes. And then I wanted to mention that Voodoo Ranger is back behind the convention center with their pirate ship. They will be there all 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. You can climb on board and they will have, their IPAs that they will be selling, and it is sold, it's not free, but 100% of the beer sales directly benefit Landfest, which is an organization focused on building healthy communities through gaming. They've got some stuff that they have not announced yet, so like some giveaways and fun stuff like that I'm hoping we get some more information on here soon. And if you are into Our Flag Means Death, come join me from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for our meetup aboard the ship. It is first come, first serve, so maybe show up a little early. But we're going to have some really fun giveaways. I actually just picked up the postcards today, which has art designed by Val Hochberg. And then we've got some magnets that were designed by Sarah on our team. So it's going to be fun.
So you want to answer a couple more questions?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of questions about Funko Fun on the Run. And it's going to work real different at Comic-Con than it is anywhere else. So everywhere else, it's basically like in a Walmart parking lot. And it's just like, it's like an actual offsite. And that's kind of what we always thought like Funko Fun on the Run was going to be. Like we kept expecting it to pop up in the Petco Interactive Zone. That is not what it is at Comic-Con. At Comic-Con, what it is every single day of the convention, not just on Wednesday, you can stop by the Visitor Center in Funkoville and you'll be able to purchase your Fun on the Run box of fun there. You don't need a reservation. You don't need a lottery win. You're just going to line up like you would for anything else. Again, any day of the convention, they'll have inventory. So it's different.
Another one was what's the process for the Fandom Party this year?
Okay, yeah. So the Fandom Party this year is working very differently. It's a lottery, basically. You sign up. Weirdly, I don't think they ever like actually announced a cutoff date, which I thought was weird. And I kept meaning to ask, but I did not.
But they are announcing it tomorrow, right? They're going to do the drawings for tomorrow.
Are they? Okay, well,
maybe
go with that then. Maybe.
There's
look
37
it up.
hours left to enter.
Okay, there's 37 hours left to enter then. So not tomorrow, but maybe Thursday or Friday. Friday? I don't know. Time means nothing. Some point before the convention, they will announce if you have won. They did announce that the musical guest will be NCT
127.
127. Okay. Sure. That is not how I would have pronounced that, but okay. So that'll be the musical guest. And then what was I gonna say? Oh, somebody in the chat asked about cups of water. Yes, cups of water will be back Sunday morning, unspecified time. Omni, Patch of Grass. Keep an eye on Twitter.
And there's been some questions about like coming back next year. Does coming this year make it easier to attend next year? And technically, yes, because returning registration is for everybody who had a pass this year who wants to try. And there's about half of the tickets to Comic-Con available. We don't know the exact number, but it's about half. And so that's basically everyone at Comic-Con getting half the tickets. And then everyone who wants them getting half more tickets in the open registration. So yes, you have a 1 in 2 chance during returning registration, whereas you probably have about a 5% chance or less in open registration.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the Funko pen that they're giving away? There's information about that, I believe, in our regular Funko post. Sarah H asked question about free book giveaway signings at book publisher booths. How long in advance do people start lining up for the giveaways, ticketed or not? I don't know, but I have never heard that those are like cutthroat. I don't think, you have to line up like crazy early for the book signing stuff. But best practice is always, swing by the booth, ask questions like, hey, what time are you going to start giving these out? And then if it's important to you, just try to head over there early. Just hang in, ask, will PaceyCon ever return? So we're not doing our party this year. I'm very sorry. But it will be back next year. I am determined. I agreed to 1 year off, but I think it's coming back next year. No, it is coming back next year. So yes. Are people allowed to bring in water bottles to the con in a backpack or containers? Yes, you are. Food and water are both allowed. Ellie asked, were cups of water those small 8-ounce cups with the SDCC logo? Yes, they are. But we also give you a bottle of water to go with your cup. So it's not just the plastic cup. And it's a chance to like talk to me and James, and it's usually like a lot more chill.
Because it's early. Somewhat
early. Yeah.
And we do have the giveaway. Like maybe I'll give away some buttons or something like that sometimes. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to answer 2 more and then we can move on. El Toro asked, any word on how the Tamashii exclusives will be handled this year? No, I actually have not heard. And then where'd it go? What parties are you aware of besides the Fandom Party? I think we all know what I'm going to say. Neopets.
I do. Neopets.
You can get tickets for that one at the booth. It's free food, free drinks, free swag. Go to Neopets. That's my answer for any time anybody asks me about a party this year. Go to Neopets. Okay, on to exclusives. And it's me. Okay, so UCC showed off several exclusives this week. And we got some new photos.
It'll be a second for the slides to come up, like usual. But they just
totally
take forever
fine.
apparently now.
Can I interject that I just
Yes.
got a picture of the Good Omens wrap going up in downtown? That's very exciting.
Kim, gotta like.
We'll
send
share it later
to-
on the blog. I'll have.
Yes,
Carrie
we'll do it as
share
soon as
later
we're
on the
done with
blog.
exclusives.
Yeah. That's exciting. I was hoping for that. Okay. So for UCC, okay, yes, we got some new photos today of some of their Doorables exclusives. So these are going to be available. The Nightmare Before Christmas one is a 13-piece set for $39.99. And then the Disney Doorables multi-peak includes a guaranteed 5 figures and perhaps 6 or even 7. It's series 10, which is all about the 100th anniversary. That one's going to be $19.99. So there's different figures that you could get in each one, and we showed off a whole bunch, and they're real cute. So head to UCC. They're good people. And then I also wanted to talk about Joey Spiro, who he is doing 4 new exclusive prints for the convention. These are so freaking cute. He's got Barbie, Across the Spider-Verse, The Last of Us, and then the new Zelda game. I just think these are so freaking cute. They'll be $20 each. And then he'll also have, like, if you purchase any of his Grumpy Unicorn books, you'll get a holographic vinyl sticker and a pen while supplies last. So that's fun.
I believe this is yesterday's.
Yep.
Yes.
There we are. You pretend that I know about exclusives. But I know that you do get a lanyard with purchase, and if it's over $100, you get a cool coin. And they've got just pins galore, plus the return of the heart exclusive that we've come to love over the years. And feel free. The R flag means death part, which is a limited edition of 200, is pretty cool, and that's $20.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, that heart pen. I mean, and they're gonna have daily pens too, but you'll have to like stay tuned to their social media for those. I've seen them. They're really good.
And next up, we have someone who's well, you may not have heard of. This is Sofa Wolf Press, and they are coming to Comic-Con with a Toucan Hall H sign pin, an exclusive that's limited to 150 pieces for only $15. And then that tropical button-up shirt, also an exclusive, that will be available for $65. It is limited to 200, and the sizes they have in stock, at least at the start of the convention, is small up to 4X. So we wanted to highlight these because they're pretty awesome. So
they are awesome. And honestly, like, this is one of my favorite things that we get to do on the blog, is just like, don't get me wrong, Mattel's cool. Mattel does cool stuff. Hasbro does cool stuff. Funko does cool stuff. But like, there's so much amazing stuff on the show floor that if you don't know that exists, I mean, it's so easy to just like never find out about it. Because the floor is huge, and just being able to like spotlight really cool stuff like this, I mean, I would way rather write up this than some of the other stuff.
And all you people who are saying that you love that shirt, do not sell it out before I have a chance to go get mine.
Yeah, it's super nice. This person did some amazing work. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to say, like, we love giving a shout out to smaller artists and what they do.
It's the gradual tiki takeover of Comic-Con, which I don't mind at all.
Yes. Jeff Granito also has some really fun tiki print shirts. Yeah.
I love how on that previous shirt, how they made the gas amp sign tiki torches. Excellent work.
Yeah. Yes. So fun. Okay, over at Toddland, we got to show off their Family Guy and American Dad stuff today. He actually sent me the singles for these right before we went on. So I'm going to try tonight to update it so that you get a better look at like the individual images if you are like me and you prefer to look at like big, pretty pictures as opposed to like, here it is on a board. But some super cool stuff. The big thing is going to be the Rupert. The Rupert is pre-sale only. He will not ship until September. So what's going to happen with Rupert, unlike the others, is he's limited to 300 pieces. When they go up tomorrow at 10 a.m., 100 will be available online for shipping. And then at the convention, if you go up to the booth and you say like, hey, I want to buy a Rupert, they'll go ahead and like take your order. They're doing 200 at the convention. They'll take your order, but then he will also ship to you later, but shipping is going to be free. If you purchase online, it's a limit of 2 per person. If you do it on site, it's a limit of 1 per person. He's $35. He's the big thing. All the shirts are going to be $28. Most of the pens are going to be $12. And if you want to pick up anything, again, not Rupert, but if you want to pick up the shirts or the pens at the convention, you have to order tomorrow by midnight in order for them to get your order placed in time to get it at the convention. And they're still not guaranteeing that they will have it at the convention, but they're going to try their best. So again, if you want it, order it tomorrow, and then make sure that you email store@toddland.com with your order number and say like, hey, I want to pick it up at the convention. So
to answer a question for that Sofa Wolf Press with that pin, Hall H pin and shirt, that is booth 1236 on the show floor.
Yeah, super nice stuff. And then we also wanted to talk about 100% Soft, which Truck is bringing back his fabulous dumpster fires. He's revealed 3 so far. I don't know if that's everything he's going to reveal, but there is a toxic waste dumpster fire nuclear blast edition, which is going to be $32. That's the blue and pink one. And then there is a murdered out dumpster fire, which I think is funny. And that is it's made with black vinyl with a translucent black frame. That one's going to be $30. And then today they showed off another collaboration with Casey Green, which is the person who did that. You know, I mean, if you're watching live, you see the photo, but that This Is Fine meme with a dog sitting around the flames, drinking his coffee. They did here. Actually, I have the original right here. They did like a normal version a couple years ago, but this one is glow in the dark. So it'll be a little bit different. And that one is, they give a price. I don't know if they gave a price. But it'll be available at the convention and it's super nice.
That toxic waste dumpster fire is almost the perfect combination of Barbie and Oppenheimer.
It is. Yes. It's a good, excellent point.
A question real quick for yesterday's. Will they sell the SDCC unofficial blog pin? No, will not. You can only get that from us, right?
Yeah, you can only get it from us. So we showed this off the other night. But this is our new pen. We've done pens with them before, but this is our new one, and it has like a heart, and it says ublog, like you love the ublog. It does come, backed on yesterday's cards. That's nice. It is, if you're a certain tier on our Patreon, I will be shipping these out when I get home in early August, if you qualify for this. And I did pack a couple in my suitcase to also give away in prize meals, so we will be giving a couple away, but they're really nice. I mean, yesterday's always does fantastic work. And actually, while I'm here, I also packed a couple of last year's pen, which is, I'm trying to not show
I'm not sure if people can see that, but hopefully they can.
I'm not sure either. I know.
We'll show them off later.
The light's hard. Yeah. But it says SDCC blog and it's got like the little arch thing. So they're nice.
All right. So next up, we have Jazwares, which is bringing a whole bunch of stuff, which you can only see a few of the items on the screen right now. They are at booth 3513, which is going to be a part of Gentle Giant Studios. And they are bringing things like the Call of Duty Ghost action figure, the Halo Infinite Warthog Neon Superfly. We have let's see, we have 3 different Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron storyboard series, little ships. We have 4 new check-in series Squishmallows. We have select first partner battle figure pack from Pokemon, which you can see there on the screen. It has a bunch of the Pokemons in one big box. We have a Book of Boba Fett Kersantin inflatable costume. And we have a Fortnite 2-pack and an all elite wrestling Sting figure, all coming to Jazwares. They are, last year they were actually in the portal, but they are not, at least not yet. And so far it's looking like they won't be, since they haven't been added. But since they are not in the portal currently, this one is going to be a lineup situation, most likely, and just come and buy stuff. So we will see if they ever do get added, but right now it's just come and buy them. And if you wanted to see prices and more pictures, then go ahead and check them out on our site. And then Mattel started revealing their items, and we have a few of them so far. They're going to be releasing, what is it, like 12 days of stuff? So they might have 12 different items.
Yeah, well, it goes through Friday, but Friday is also the day of the actual sale, like online at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I kind of wonder if day 12 is just going to be like, and they're live.
They have the Jurassic Park Hammond Collection Man Creates Dinosaurs Steven Spielberg figure, and as you can see, there's a bunch of added things like the movie camera and the seat and the dinosaur. And then we have the Hot Wheels Jurassic Park Jeep Wrangler and Dr. Ian Malcolm, which is Hot Wheels of the Jeep with Malcolm sitting on the back of it from the famous scene. And then we have the WWE Ultimate Edition Muhammad Ali action figure set. So these will be running, let me see here if there's pricing on any of these. I think we only have pricing on some of it, and that is the Muhammad Ali set's going to be $70. So again, these will be, Mattel is in the portal, so you can sign up for times to try and win purchase times, and or you can purchase them online if you're lucky enough to get them online, correct?
Yes.
Starting Friday, like you said, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
I think we're moving on to Funko. And these were just the ones announced this week, right, guys? Oh, no, I guess Superman was last week.
Yeah, it's a random of ones announced over the last week.
Random assortment of the pops from this week on and I think there's more to come. I know people are waiting on that short round to be announced. And the live action Ariel is really cool. I'm sorry, my voice is going now. So they've got regular size pops, the mini pops that are new this year. I forget what they're called, sorry. Some sodas.
Biddies.
And biddies, itty bitties. They're so cute. That actually is a better collectible if you have space limitations. And they've got pins at their booth that I know people were talking about. And Funmaker Mike on Instagram has been showing off the pins that they're bringing.
Yeah. I'm actually not, I think Funko's done, but they also tweeted like that there was more announcements to come, but I'm like, is that referring to their other brands? Because like Mondo showed off some stuff, and I feel like there's surely more of Loungefly to be announced.
Yeah, Loungefly brings a lot of stuff, and we've only seen like 2 items, I think.
Yeah.
They usually bring
seen more than
10
2
or 12 items.
Yeah, I think there's more still to come for Loungefly. I suspect there's more still to come for Rewind. There might be more for games. Mondo showed off like a couple of posters back when they were doing like the announcements through the media partners, but I think that there's probably more posters still to come. So yeah, I think across all their different properties, there's still quite a bit to be announced.
All right. So next up, we have Hasbro with the lone item they have announced so far, which is the G.I. Joe Classified Series Philip Chuckles Provost. This will be available only by picking up a QR code at the Hasbro Pulse booth at 3213. It starts on preview night, and unlike last year, they have said that they are doing unique QR codes to pick these up, and they are only handing them out 1 per person. We shall see if that is actually the case, or if it's the same barcode with just a hashtag or something you have to type in order to get them or whatever. but I guess we'll wait and see. But no word on pricing yet. And we are assuming that they will have more things available, but we do not know.
Yeah, I mean, surely they do, but yeah, I have no idea. Everybody's so late this year, unfortunately. Let's talk about our last exclusive, at least for the slides, which is it's ours. We have partnered up with Committed Comics, who is in the chat. That'll be Tom. Hi, Tom. And we have made series 1 of 2 for our prize mules, and they're really fun. Like on the back, they've got facts and stats about the prize mules. And the way that you're going to get this, there's 2 different ways. Number 1, you can stop by Committed Comics booth, which is Small Press L09, every day. Each morning, they will be tweeting out like a special phrase, and you have to repeat that phrase. And if they still have cards left, you get it. If you want Gary will only be available with purchase. He will be free with purchase, but still with purchase. And then outside of that, if you happen to catch up a prize mule in the gas lamp, like we will also have cards that we will be giving out. No, you're not going to get like the full set from us. You're going to get like, here's a card, but that just means you have to go catch some more mules if you want the full set. Or you can take the easy way, and go to Committed Comics booth, which you absolutely should, because they have some really cool comics and they're great people. So again,
And
Small
Harry-
Press L09.
Harry and Kim, if people just walk up to you and say, do you have a prize mule card? Will you give them one?
I mean, I will. You won't.
I will. But they have to work for it.
Yeah, I thought they had to, jump through a hoop.
Yeah. What about you, Kim? You're going to be nice, or are you going to be marginally nice?
Well, my prize mule's in the next wave. So.
Oh, okay. So next year, you get to be
You're
the side.
So you're still going to get cards this year. What we're going to do is we're just going to give you like a random assortment to give away so that you can be like, here, you found a prize mule. But yeah.
Ooh. So you'd be like,
we want
here,
you guys to be
kids.
able to like play. Yeah, we want you guys to be able to play along too.
All right. So next year I can get even less nice when they're other people's cards.
Yeah, you can totally be me next year.
All right.
That's funny. Okay. I'm glad you guys are excited for the cards. Thank you for that. We're excited. We're very excited. Okay, so there's been so many other exclusive announcements, and I'm basically just gonna run down this list. Super 7 has been showing off a ton of like Godzilla and vinyl toy and t-shirt announcements. Mondo announced several of their toys today. However, note with Mondo, they're of the ones that they showed off, there are only 2 that will be physically at the convention, which is the Magneto and then the green guy, which was like Valiente. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. All the rest are going to be online only for Mondo. Diamond, which is I think really Gentle Giant, they've shown off several statues and high-end collectibles. So like there's an R2-D2, there's a Clone Wars thing, there was a Silver Surfer. Entertainment Earth has shown off some more stuff. They showed off a Star Trek Little People collection today that folks were excited about. We Can Be Heroes has like really weirdly burst onto the scene here in the last couple of days. They are going to have a ton of exclusives and signings and all kinds of fun stuff, including the one that everybody's really excited about, a signed Berserker print from Keanu Reeves, but it is incredibly limited. It's a limit of 3 per day. And they don't give a price, but I think they're not going to be cheap.
They won't be cheap. No.
They will not be cheap. So just be aware of that, but it does benefit charity. Which means it's going to be even less cheap. Skybound, their stuff looks amazing this year. They're celebrating the 20th anniversaries of The Walking Dead and Invincible. They've got a ton of stuff for both. They've got signings, they've got booth activities, giveaways, and then they've got exclusives. One of the really cool things they're doing this year is they've got daily exclusives for Invincible. So there's like a different variant comic each day. There's a whole bunch of other exclusives. Go check it out on our site. It's their first year with like their own set booth. It's 2 stories. They're going all out. Patrick Balceros, we showed off some pins today for him. DC, we've been showing off the Todd McFarlane toys that are going to be over there. Con Rangers, we've been showing off their non-merit badge stuff. So like today was their guide. They've got a sash. They've got some other stuff. Crapopolis has pens and buttons, and there's more that I think is going to be announced tomorrow. KRS Comics has a whole bunch of comics and signings and other stuff. Hyperactive Monkey has some stuff. Han Solo has exclusive jewelry. Trans International, we showed off like a Star Wars poster and calendar. Acme Archives has more posters. Karen Hallion has a really fun Barbie sticker. USAopoly is bringing they're bringing an exclusive Loki set of dice that comes in a really nice drawstring bag. And then they've also got a debut for Nightmare Before Christmas game. Jada Toys, we showed off more of their diecast Batman thing. CCI, their merch went live. Some stuff is already sold out. You can still purchase on site. I don't think that they've officially said it's going to be at the Marriott, but I'm fairly certain it's going to be at the Marriott. And then it will also be at the Comic-Con Museum. Stan Sakai, we've shown off a couple new comics. Bandai had... What even did Bandai have? There's been so much I don't even remember. Distillery has several comic exclusives. Russell Walks has a Star Wars poster. Monkey Minion has a couple of items, including wrapping paper, which we are both really excited about because I don't know that I've ever seen like wrapping paper being sold on the show floor, but I think that's fun. Punch It Chewy showed off some Star Wars pens. Koto Bukiya has their high-end collectible statues. Essential Sequential showed off a really nice Spider-Man print from Arthur Adams that has a whole bunch of Spider-Man. It looks awesome. Naoko Lally, some really cute like What We Do in the Shadow stickers and some really nice prints. Beautiful artwork. Nucleus showed off their exclusives. Kevin Tong, we got to exclusively announce his exclusives this year, which is a lot of like screen printed posters. Zenoscope has their comics. DKE has custom toys. Image Comics has exclusives. Peach Momoko, if you want her stuff, she is doing it a little bit differently, so make sure that you read that one closely. IDW, Creature Bazaar, check them out. They're going to be at the DKE booth, but they have some gorgeous stuff, including like a lot of Junji Ito stuff. And their pens, I kind of want to ask them, like, is this a typo? Because they told me their pens are $5. And I'm like, that seems way too freaking cheap for as nice as these look. $7 a pop has been announcing several of their signings, which includes folks like Sean Astin, Danielle Panabaker, and more. Rufio. They have not yet announced the signing times or the prices, but they will at some point here, I was told this week. So hopefully that happens. Upper Deck announced 2 prints for Loki, which they will have at the convention. Jeff Granito, as we mentioned earlier, has some Tiki shirts. Fizz has their exclusives. Brock Love showed off a new collection of Star Wars jewelry. Little Shop of Pens. Today we showed off a Masters of the Universe pen, and they've got a team up that they're super excited about coming, I think, later this week. And there's even more than that on our site. Thank you and good night.
I just want to acknowledge this amount of information that's in Carrie's brain during the convention. It's amazing. She was not reading that.
No, it was just like a list of companies. So, well, I mean, it helps that I've written a lot of it. But thank you. We try.
So much stuff.
So much stuff, kids. So much stuff. Yeah. And so much of it is like so good. Like, if you have not taken the time, honestly, just to sit there and like look through our posts, you really should. Including like Under the Tents. We can't, unfortunately, give a shout out post to every single person, but our Under the Tents often have like some amazing gems. And half the time, like the folks who we do give like their own dedicated post to the next year are folks that were like, last year, like their stuff was so good. We were like, we really want to like stop putting them in Under the Tents and like move them up. But it's a great place to find like amazing art, especially. So that's my spiel.
What was I going to mention now? I was going to mention something. It went right out of my brain. Oh, well, it's the way it goes. So do we have any other questions we want to answer before we head out? I'm not sure if there's anything we really need to cover because we covered a lot. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention now. you mentioned under the tents and things that you may be looking for. So on our site, we do have a search function. And so if there's a particular writer, artist, performer,
even like show, like maybe somebody has a print for, whatever.
If we've typed in their name and use the search function, you will find the post that their name has been, even if it's in an under the tents post that has 20 other things in it. It will show you that post, and you can go and look and see what the information is. So you can find it, find their booth number, whatever it may be. So you don't have to basically sit there and go through the entire website. Use that search function to your benefit to find all of the specific things that you're interested in.
Yeah. Okay, real quick. Alex asked in chat, whatnot offsite info. I mean, we basically posted the info today. What's on there and what's on their site is exactly what we know. But they've announced quite a bit of it. The only thing that they really haven't announced is their full signing lineup and times, and that's going to be announced on Monday. I think through their app. So I think you might have to like go download their app, which I'm probably not going to do. Because I got too much other stuff to be doing than downloading somebody's app. But if you want to see their signing schedule, you can do that. Committed Comics said that search function is incredible. I've used it a million times this week. Love to hear that. Yes, we do have search function and it's great.
Someone asked about print and art protectors that are recommended. Actually, I think Sean at Parks and Cons did a video about what's in his backpack. And in that video, he talks about poster tubes and print holders a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the one to check. It's near the end of that one, I think, that video.
Yeah. And I know he talked about I think at this point we all have like a free poster tube that we've gotten from Comic-Con. But as he said, he noticed that like they were getting a little bit dinged up. So he invested in something a little bit nicer. So they're not super expensive. It might be worth doing that. But if you are traveling, be aware that like your poster tube, if it's separate, like counts as a separate carry-on item. So be aware of that. Okay. How fast will yesterday's daily pen sell out? Do I have a chance if I don't storm the gates when the floor opens? They do sell out like fairly quickly. But I mean, just head over there in the morning and you'll probably be okay. And I think that they have a plan to try to like get more people in line at once, as opposed to like constantly having to cap the line. I don't want to like speak out of turn, but I know they're trying. What are some of the exclusive podcasts just for Patreons? We've done several. We've done like Kim and Robert did a really great one about like tips for your kids at the convention. I really enjoyed that one. I think that was super helpful. Andy did one on volunteering. Sarah, Aaron, and I have just like talked about Taylor Swift for 2 hours because why not? Not even kidding. So they're just kind of all over the place. James and I do a monthly one though. That's usually like 15 to 30 minutes where we just kind of talk about like, what are we up to? Like, and if there's any, little Comic-Con stuff that we can talk about, we do. And then leading up to the convention for our $25 tier, I have been doing a weekly 5 to 7 minute breakdown of the news. Trying to speed read through as much of it as I possibly can in that 5 to 7 minutes. And James, last week, I think you were like, you're not going to be able to keep doing that. I finished this last one at 6 minutes and 55 seconds. And I was like, all right, I did it. So
very good. So Kim, you have some pictures that were.
You want to show them off?
Do you want to show off any of those pictures?
I don't. How do I do that?
I can just
post it later. It'll be posted on Twitter in a moment.
Well, let me show off at the very least the beginning of the hotel one. I can do that.
Okay. Thank you. Well, it looks like you heard it here first. It looks like Yellow Jackets is more even in Mary Jane. So we'll see. Nothing, we haven't heard anything from Paramount officially, so we'll see what comes of it. But I know that it was behind the check-in station. It wasn't there when this person went down to take photos. Props to my husband. But
so there's the hotel with the start of the banner, the wrap.
Yeah. And it looks like it's going to be the Antler Queen again. I think is that the same artwork? I think it might be.
I think it is. And that's in season 1, right? I have like a week to catch up. Okay. I can do it.
That's cool.
I know they had
cool.
had banner ads. They had banner ads, airplane ads last year, but I think that was the only presence last year, huh? What I
think so. Yeah, I think so.
Showtime. Oh yeah, not Paramount Plus. I'm sorry, Showtime. That is exciting. Thank you, Showtime.
No,
Yeah.
I think it is actually like it's kind of Paramount Plus. I mean, like you can get Showtime like on Paramount Plus.
That's so confusing these days.
I know. It's but anyway, somebody asked if we are on Threads yet. So I did make an account, but I'm not gonna lie to you, like we're not gonna use it this year. And if they don't get a desktop app, I'm never gonna use it. So TBD, we'll see where we are like after the convention. If worse comes to worse, and like Twitter dies a crazy death here a week from tomorrow. Then I guess keep an eye on our Instagram. But for right now, I mean, we're just keeping things as normal and we'll evaluate where we are in a couple months. So life moves pretty fast on Twitter. Okay, I think that's about it, guys.
All right. Okay, let me get back here.
And I think there's a lot more to be announced in the next few days. So whatever happens with what's going on in the Hollywood world, I think we will still all have a whole lot of fun exploring the rest of Comic-Con.
Yeah. Straight to VHS asked this at the beginning, but what happens if you see a panel after a cancellation panel? Do they force you out of the room? Say a cancellation panel is sandwiched between 2 panels. Usually, no, they don't force you out of the room. Like you just sit there and you just have like an hour to kill. I mean, that's
take a nap.
You're just gonna hang out.
Yeah.
Take that extended bathroom break. Yep.
There you go. All right. So I think we might have like a contest up on the contest hub, but that's where you would go if there's any contest running on our site. And if you need a badge for Comic-Con, I think for a few more days, Comic-Con is officially auctioning off badges on eBay. So you can check it out on their official site and their official page on eBay.
Yes. And then if you want to be our attendee of the week, this week is our last one for the year. So get your applications in like right now. You can find a link to that on the sidebar of our site or on our homepage. And then again, we do have a Patreon if you appreciate the work that we do, or if you just want to hear me try to read all the news in 5 to 7 minutes, you can find more information about that again on the sidebar of our site or in the footer or anywhere else. But we really appreciate our patrons. You guys help keep the lights on over here. Like all the money that we make goes into the site hosting or like doing fun giveaways for you guys. We try to do some really fun stuff for everybody. So.
All right. Thank you again to our SDConCast sponsor, Adrenalizing Media. Be sure to stop by booth 2548 to check out their In Our City Stories Extreme, A Painful Birth comic. They'll have Transformers composer Vince DiCola, stuntmaster Andy Chang, and cover artists Lucio Perillo, Carla Cohen, Ralph Paul, and Eric Eepman Chan. Again, that's booth 2548. You can also find more information on social media, NRCity_universe. So that is going to wrap it up for today. Someone asked in the comments when we're going to have another podcast, and that's the next one is after the convention in 2 weeks. So we will be back on the 25th, I think it is, on Tuesday. And that will do it for the 2023 season after the con. We'll have a wrap-up show. We'll cover everything about what we thought about the show, and then we will go into hibernation until returning and open registration sometime later this year. So sign up for one more newsletter coming out.
One more newsletter, which will be coming out on Saturday because the person who makes it leaves on Sunday. So it'll be on Saturday. And then again, just thank you so much to our patrons. I hope that you guys who joined us on the Hangout, got your magnet. And again, I'll get the pens out when I get back in early August. And we really appreciate you guys. So thank you again.
And so thank you all for joining us. And Kim, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am outside Comic Con on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, maybe sometimes TikTok, and now Threads. And Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me in the off season on Twitter at Carrie Dixon, where I mostly just talk about Tom Hardy's clothes. I mean, that's about it. James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am everywhere at Dan Regal, and you can check out geekshotphoto.com for links for myself and my wife, Beth, who is our producer. She edits the show and creates all the slides and all the little things that get this podcast done. And also I am on the Citizens of Lorcana podcast covering Disney's new trading card game coming out in about a month and a half or so, a month, something like that. If you want to check out anything about that.
I want to say something real quick before we go. I also want to say that, like, I know that this is a super weird year, but I hope that when everybody gets there, I hope that you guys all have an amazing time. I hope that, yes, I do think it's going to be a little bit weird, but I hope everybody's just like able to roll with the punches and have a good time, and that, like, you know, you don't blame Comic-Con, you don't blame the actors, you don't blame the writers. Like, everybody's just doing the best that they can with the hand that we've been dealt right now. Everybody's just trying to, again, do the best that they can. But I truly hope that everybody goes and has just like a freaking fantastic Comic-Con. We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up in the blog. You can search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We are also on Stitcher Radio and Spotify, and the links are in the show notes.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you all for listening, and everybody go shawarma. It's the final countdown. I'm not going to sing it.